What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Cjthecheesedj here, and we're back with another A to Z of Ark for you guys today. And today, guys, we're going over the KARKINOS. Now, guys, the KARKINOS is found on quite a few different maps. You'll generally find him in the radiation zones, like ones that we are in at the moment. Now, the maps that you can find him on are Valguero, Aberration, Genesis, and the Crystal Isles. Now, we're currently on Valguero in the radiation zone down here at the moment. We've got ourselves a KARKINOS trapped up in this trap. I'll be going over how to trap these guys as well later in the video, so stick around. But pretty much through this whole trench, you will be able to find a bunch of KARKINOSes scattered throughout it. Now, you can obviously find them in the Lunar Biome on Genesis Part 1. They are in the Aberration Caves that you will find around the areas. As well as that, they can be found on Crystal Isles in the northeastern section of the map. And then Aberration, they're obviously going to be found in the blue zones. So guys, we're going to go over how to trap and tame this big crabby boy right now for you. Alrighty guys, so we're out in the open now. I'm going to be showing you how to make the trap to tame this guy up. Now, I've seen a lot of traps over the years. However, this one so far is the best one that I have found, and it's by Captain Fat Dog. So if you want a more comprehensive guide on how to build it, check out his channel, but I will be building it here anyway. You are going to need mainly metal fence supports. You'll need one sloped metal wall left, one sloped metal wall right, 6 of these stone triangle ceilings, a catwalk, 2 ladders, a catapult, and 3 stone pillars. So we're going to build it and bring you guys back when it's done. Alrighty guys, so we've got the trap built up. Now, I'll be leaving a link to the original video in the description, so you guys can check that out on how to build this, because it's a 2-minute long video pretty much, and it'll go through how to build it, because yeah, I'm still struggling to build it. I've only built it a couple of times, but all you need to do is then run straight through it. You can fit anything up to a Monogama through this trap. Once you've got it through, you'll see that the KARKINOS will do a little weird fallen animation. That essentially means it's trapped. Jump on your catapult and you can boulder it in the head. Now, you can use cannons. However, I would not recommend it because they deal a lot more damage than the catapults and they're a lot harder to aim. Now, when you've got the KARKINOS in here, you want to make sure that you're hitting its shell. Not its limbs or anything like that, its shell. And once you've hit it enough, it'll pass out. Now, you have to obviously be careful because if you do hit its limbs, you can potentially kill it. But you can see here, it's got 1100 health and it's fully knocked out. I don't even know what level this thing is. What level is it? Level 20. Okay, we got lucky with that. So once you've got it knocked out, you can feed it spoiled meat. Now, if you don't have access to kibble, that is your best bet. If you do have access to kibble, though, you'll want to use exceptional kibble to tame this guy up. Nonetheless, though, you can get by using spoiled meat. It just will lose a little bit of effectiveness and whatnot. But other than that, that's all you really need to know in order to trap a KARKINOS. Now, if you are struggling to get these guys into your trap, you can utilize a Spino as well. Spinos are one of the creatures that the KARKINOS cannot actually grab you off. However, you will not be able to walk your Spino through this trap. So make sure that you either have a fast mount or a way to avoid getting grabbed and your Spino getting into the fight. You can go around it with your Spino and cut it in like that. However, you will need to be fast enough for that to happen. Now guys, once you've got your KARKINOS tamed up, you'll need to be level 65 in order to make it saddle. You'll need 80 blue gems, 225 fiber, 200 fungal wood, and 170 hide. But once you've got that saddle, you are pretty much a god with your KARKINOS. These guys are great. They can grab creatures, they can throw creatures, they can jump, they deal a lot of damage, they can be used to harvest up resources. There's a whole heap of stuff for these guys to do. Now, first off, I'll be chucking up a list of all the creatures that the KARKINOS can grab, and the trike is not one of them. However, you can pick up stegos with them, which obviously that'll help drastically if you are trying to soak a base and whatnot, because you can pick up 2 stegos, throw them into an enemy's base, and use them to soak a bunch of turrets. Now, you can also use this guy as a portable taming pen, essentially. All you would need to do is pick up a creature, like a stego, like a parasaur, like a Gallimimus, and simply jump off your KARKINOS, make sure it's on passive, and you can actually trank it using crossbows or your long neck. Now, another use of the KARKINOS is that you can use it as a mobile taming pen. All you need to do is simply find the creature that you want to pick up, like say this parasaur here, and you can simply hop off your KARKINOS, make sure that it is on passive, and simply trank out whatever it is that it's holding. Once it's tranked out, it'll simply drop from the KARKINOS's claw straight to the ground, and you can pretty much set your spike walls up and have it protected. Now, the KARKINOS has a couple of different attacks. He can attack individually with each claw by using the left mouse button, or you can attack individually with the right claw using the right mouse button. You can attack simultaneously with both these claws, and it does deal more damage than attacking individually. So I would recommend where you can to use this dual attack. The only problem with that is that you will stop moving while you use it. If you are using your individual claws, you can still move while using it. The KARKINOS also has the ability to jump. You can see there, pretty nice little jump that he can do there. He can also throw creatures using the C button. So any creatures that you can pick up with the KARKINOS, you are able to throw. I'm just trying to find something that we can actually pick it up, and it's embarrassing because literally we are just surrounded by trikes. Like I was saying, any creatures that you find that you can pick up, you can actually throw them using the C button. If you hold down C, a reticle will show up and you can essentially aim that wherever you want, and the KARKINOS will yeet it half a galaxy away. So you can do this up with anything that he can carry, which makes farming a lot easier. Now, as well as that, the KARKINOS does not have an oxygen meter. You can stay underwater with this guy infinitely because he does not have an oxygen meter. He will walk across the bottom of the floor though, so he will not swim. You can, however, surface by spamming the jump button. That will allow you to get out of the depths of the ocean, and you can spam it multiple times in deeper waters. So the KARKINOS is great for exploring literally any location because you can use him for water, you can use him for land, and he is also immune to radiation. So any radiation on aberration or anything like that, the KARKINOS is immune to it. Now you can throw both dinos, you can see there. Okay, the Carno fell out of our claw. You can see there, just throw him out of there. So the KARKINOS has a variety of uses, like he's great. Now another cool thing that you can do with the KARKINOS is pretty much infinitely harvest. So for example, we have an Anki here. We have a bunch of metal nodes around us. Now, obviously, the Anki is going to get super encumbered. However, the KARKINOSes have really high weight. So what you essentially can do is you can farm with your Anki, right? You can also do this with another player on. So if you're in a tribe with multiple players, you can actually have someone on the Anki swinging while your KARKINOS is carrying the Anki around. It makes it a lot easier to farm if there's two people. However, I'm used to doing it solo, so I jump off my Anki and I do it manually like this. But essentially what happens is once your Anki gets full on whatever it is that you're harvesting, so for example, metal. Now you can do this with stegos and dodics as well. But once your Anki is full, so you can see here, our Anki is going to be super encumbered. So he's 532 out of 405. Now, obviously we could drop all this stone and metal and whatnot and keep going. However, what you can actually do is you can use the KARKINOS, and because the KARKINOS has such a big weight pool, you can actually pick the Anki up, carry it around to wherever it is that you want to go, and drop it down again and fill it up once more. Now, you can essentially slot cap your Anki by using this method. And the cool thing is that once the Anki is slot capped, obviously it will override the KARKINOS's weight stat. However, you can still move the Anki around thanks to the KARKINOS's rotate ability, as well as the ability to throw dinos. So, for example, we're currently sitting at 701 weight. If we were to just spawn in a bunch of stone and fill our Anki right up, we'll still be able to move, right? Theoretically. So let's just fill our Anki up and I'll show you guys what we mean. Alrighty guys, so our Anki is pretty much full. We got a new KARKINOS in, so it has a lot lower weight. So if we pick our Anki up, you'll see that the KARKINOS is at 1000 weight. Now, obviously with this sort of weight, we're not going to be able to move, right? But what you can actually do is you can drop the Anki, spin, and pick it up again. Now, say you're doing this in a really close proximity in the aberration bridge where there's a ton of metal. This really helps getting around to all the metal because you can just simply spin around, keep picking your Anki up, and having whoever's riding the Anki or yourself harvesting up all the metal. Now, if that's not an option for you, you can also throw your Anki. So, for example, let's just spin around here. Say we want to mine that rock over there. Let's drop him down. We're going to pick him up again and drop him down. Rotate, pick him up again. And what you can do is you can just throw him. Just like that. And it'll be over at whatever it is that you want to harvest. Now, you can utilize this with whatever harvests. Ankis, dodics, stegos, all that sort of stuff. You know, you can use your KARKINOS and just throw whatever it is that you're using to harvest and then just carry it away. And if you're trying to get back to base, all you need to do is throw your Tame. Keep a very close eye on it because obviously you're going to throw it far if you're trying to get it back to base. But like, look how much distance that Anki has just covered from one throw. Obviously, there's probably no chance we're going to find him ever again, but we wouldn't be doing this if we knew where our base was and, you know, we were just trying to be a little bit more careful. You'd only throw him a certain amount of distance away from you. So the KARKINOS is like the Swiss Army knife of Ark. It deals a heap of damage. You can use it to farm. You can use it to soak turrets. It also takes reduced damage from bullets. So it takes 0.8 times the amount of damage from bullets. So he's still really good. You can use him to soak. Obviously, it'll be only if the turrets are set to dinos only. However, you can carry stegos with the KARKINOS with high saddles, and that makes you a massive, massive soaker. And you can actually just throw stegos into the enemy's bases to soak the turrets for you as well if you really wanted to. So there's a great amount of warfare that you can use the KARKINOS for. You can use him for deep sea diving, you name it. This guy is pretty much the jack of all trades for Ark, and I would heavily recommend getting your hands on one if you don't have one of these guys already. They are relatively easy to tame once you build the trap for them and you have the resources required for them, and you can build their saddle, obviously. They're really easy to use as well. You can also use these guys to get rock drake eggs on aberration because they are immune to the radiation poisoning and they can jump through to the egg nests and stuff like that. However, I wouldn't 100% recommend going it alone with one of these guys because they still don't do fully enough damage to fight off a whole herd of rock drakes. They will survive, don't get me wrong, they're great at dealing damage. However, you will be better off taking it with like a dino convoy with like megalosauruses or spinos and stuff like that, just to help you deal with the damage. These guys do have a lot of health and everything like that, but I would still caution against taking them up against the rock drakes because they deal a lot of damage, but not enough to deal with an army of rock drakes. So guys, that's pretty much going to wrap up the video for today. I'm pretty sure we've covered everything. You know, turret soaking, radiation zone exploring, water zones explorings. You can use them for pretty much everything. They're really, really good for literally whatever you want to use them for. So I'd heavily recommend getting your hands on a KARKINOS. But other than that, guys, this is going to wrap up the video for today. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe down below for more. But other than that, I'll catch you in the next one.